Hello there, and welcome. Today, we're going to learn some really simple and useful English phrases for talking about your schedule at work. You know, knowing these phrases can really help you talk clearly with your team and your boss. So, let's get started.
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at how to ask about your work plan. Then, we'll learn what to say if you need to change your work time. After that, we'll talk about work breaks and, of course, how to ask for a day off. And to finish, we'll go over all the key phrases one more time.
Okay, let's jump right into our first section, asking for your work plan. This is super important, right? You need to know you're at work on the right day and at the right time.
First things first, what does schedule mean? Well, a schedule is just the plan for your work. It tells you what days you work and what times you need to be there. Simple as that.
So if you need to ask your boss for this plan, you can use this easy, polite question, "What's the schedule for this week?"
Let's look at a quick example. You can ask your supervisor, "What's the schedule for this week?" And they might say something like, "It's posted on the notice board." See? Nice and easy.
Okay, on to section 2. Sometimes things happen, and you might need to change your work time. Let's see how to ask for that.
First, here's a really important word, shift. A shift is simply the block of time you work. For example, maybe you work the morning shift, or maybe you work the evening shift.
And here's another great phrase, swap shifts. Swapping shifts just means you trade work times with someone else. You work for them, and they work for you.
So to ask your boss about this, you can use this question right here. Can I change my shift? For example, you could say, "Can I change my shift on Friday?" Your supervisor might say, "Yes, switch with someone and let me know." That means you just have to find a coworker to swap with you.
All right, let's move on to section 3. Everyone needs a rest, so let's learn how to ask about your break time.
So what is a break? A break is just a short rest you get during your work hours. It's time to sit down, relax, maybe have some coffee or eat your lunch.
And how do you ask about it? It's super simple. You can ask a coworker or your boss, "When is our break?" Let's look at a little chat with a colleague. You might ask, "When is our lunch break?" And your coworker could say, "At 1 p.m. after we finish this order." Perfect. Now you know the plan.
Okay, now for a really important topic in section 4, how to ask for a day when you don't have to work.
First, what is a day off? A day off is just a full day when you don't have to work. It's your free day. So how do you ask for one? A really good way is to be specific. You can say, "Can I have a day off next Monday?" Now here's a similar situation. What if you don't need the whole day off, but you just need to go home a little sooner? You can ask, "Can I leave early today?" And a possible answer might be, "Only if you finish your tasks first."
Wow, we've learned a lot. In our last section, let's do a quick review of all the important phrases we talked about.
Okay, let's go over these one last time. What's the schedule for this week? Can I change my shift? When is our break? Can I leave early today? Can I have a day off? And one more helpful one, can you confirm my next shift? These are your key phrases to remember.
You did a great job today. Now you have the English phrases you need to talk about your schedule, your shifts, breaks, and days off. This is really going to help you at your job.
So before we go, I have one last question for you. Of all the phrases we learned today, which one do you think you will use first? Thanks for joining me.